Roll off. We got a 3, you got a 4. I should have taken the Death Eater dice. Who is doing...
Death Eaters?
I always do that. I always get Death Eaters and Flesh Eaters in my head. Death Eaters from Harry Potter. And I can't stop doing it. It's one of the ones where you just... There's something in your mind gets mixed.
You can do the intro. I've got a idea for the outro.
That's generous of you.
I actually thought about it for a change.
I mean, to be fair... I'm glad I can do the intro because this podcast is going to probably have 2 different names. The official one and the different one. The official name is Max Damage Armies Can Do.
Right.
The unofficial name is Robin's Dream List. Because you always go, oh, Duncan, this unit, it can do 37 damage. And I'm like, yeah, but Robin, how many times has it done it? And you go, well, it hasn't. It did 5. But it could do 37.
I mean... Yeah, but it could. It literally could.
No, it could, but it never does. But that's the dream today. So, welcome to this week's Tip of the Spear, where we will be discussing the maximum potential damage every single current Spearhead can do. So when I say current, I mean 39. I've not gotten the new Nurgle one, which probably wouldn't do well anyway. So
yeah,
probably.
Just assume that's last. It probably is.
But we are going to go through all of them. But before we do, how has your Age of Sigmar week been?
It's been alright.
Great, Robin.
Great.
It's great radio.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, okay.
What have we done? We did Quest, where we both did pretty well in it.
You took your Slaves to Darkness, first time taking them and only the second time actually using them in games.
Yep, second and third.
And I took the newest Nighthaunt and the same thing. I'd only played one game with you. That will be coming up on the video soon.
Pretty good armies.
Really good armies.
Still can't decide if the Slaves of Darkness, them having the cavalry come in the second round, is a buff or a nerf.
I think it's definitely a nerf if someone just tries to actively block you. But if it's not, it's probably... I mean, you're still going to make a 6-inch charge, haven't you?
Yeah, that's what I mean. In one of the games, I brought them in and failed that 6-inch charge. Ooh. Which I suppose the only benefit of them coming in late is that you guarantee they're not in combat.
Yeah.
But then I suppose if you're going first, you
guarantee
they've got a decent
anyway.
Movement unless they set up really awkwardly.
What's their move?
10, I think.
Oh yeah, so they can probably be outside of 3 of most things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it also means you've got less time to try and buff them on the Eye of the Gods.
Yeah, it would be handy to buff. Yeah. When can you do the buff?
It's end of any turn, so you're potentially missing out on 2 times.
Yeah.
They either have to be on an objective, not in combat, or have destroyed a unit. Which, surprisingly enough, on the charge, they can destroy units quite easily.
2 rend, 2 damage.
2 rend, 2 damage, yeah.
How many attacks each? 3?
3.
Nice.
With the Lancers. And then the horses, who do absolutely nothing, they get 10 at 5 and 3 or something.
Or they do crazy. It's what horses normally do. They only do nothing or more than the other unit did.
Nah, they do nothing. Pretty sure I did 3 damage with the horses across the 3 games. They did nothing. But that's not what... When your Lancers are still doing 20 damage at combat, you don't really need the horses to do a lot.
So we also had the announcement from the Warhammer preview show of 3 new Spearheads we're getting.
Yeah. Obviously, we've done in slightly more in-depth... Well, I say in-depth. They didn't really tell us anything about any of them, which is a little frustrating.
Well, we told us everything that's in them, which I think was more than... To be honest, I was expecting just, here's your roadmap, this is what's coming. I wasn't expecting us to be able to even talk about Spearheads, so the fact that we could find which 3 armies and what exactly units are in it. I know all of them are getting new books, so the rules might change, but we could kind of speculate of if the rules are pretty similar, which... chances are they will be, what they're going to be like.
Yeah, unless they do a Nurgle and just fundamentally change a character like they did with the Blight Kings. I've said it in the comments when people have talked. I think all of them are going to be pretty good. The only one that's up in the air is the Tzeentch one, because obviously the original Tzeentch has no rend whatsoever. If that one doesn't have any rend, I think you're going to struggle again. But we'll see.
And all of them only have 4 units.
Yeah.
I think that is my downside for all of them. But all of them look like they've got a good mix of models. I really like the Lumineth because you're getting another monster in there as well, which I'd really like to see with Spearhead. So all in all, I was really happy with the announcement. Apart from the fact, because the announcement happened when we were at Quest. So we drove back and filmed that kind of just on what we'd seen up on Facebook for what had been announced. I then, the next day, tried to watch the preview to see what they talked about, see if there's any extra things I could gain from it. And it turned out, unless I somehow missed it, they didn't mention a single word about Spearhead.
No. Or if they did, they basically just were like, oh yeah, and they get Spearhead.
Which, because I was so excited thinking Games Workshop are really supporting it, because there's now an army that will have 3 Spearheads to choose from. But the fact they didn't even mention it does make me a little disappointed.
Yeah.
I'm assuming the people who do watch your previews are you more sort of your main gamers who are probably doing the main game, and that's what they're more into. And I'm also a little disappointed that it's another one where there's brand new models for a Spearhead and not a single one of those models is in the Spearhead.
Yeah, they could have quite easily have done a Spearman Skeletons and Spearman Archers, and
The Chariot would have been nice to have in it. You've got a few new heroes there as well, like I said, the Archers. They kind of have the combat unit. The Bone Reapers one would have been really nice with all of them, but they're not. No. And it does seem a theme, because Nurgle didn't get any of the new ones in their new one, and it's got another Warcry unit.
Well, yeah, of course. That's just why not? Everything just has a Warcry unit now.
So overall, I was a bit disappointed about those bits, but all in all, the fact we've got 3 new Spearheads to look forward to is really good to hear.
Wonder how much damage they'll do.
Good transition there, Robin.
Yeah.
This podcast, what I have painstakingly done is gone through every single Spearhead. Like I say, I've not done the Nurgle one, but I've done 39 Spearheads.
Just assume they're last.
And I have worked out each unit's maximum damage. So that is it rolling like a 6 to hit, a 6 to wound, and the opponent saving, awarding nothing. So the maximum thing each unit in the Spearhead can do, totted it all up, and then we're going to see how they all rank. I've divided them into a few different sections. So the first one is just combat damage.
So just the straight up combat profile of the units.
And no buffing with anything at all, just what each unit can do. I've also done the same for shooting. I've done a combined one. And finally, the last one is when all abilities go off. So if a hero can give a unit +1 to attack characteristic, I've added that in to the unit that can do the most. And any abilities as well. If it is like pick every unit in the enemy army and do 1 mortal damage, I've done the maximum units that you could be fighting. And same for models in units. If a spell does mortals on a 5 up to a unit, rolling for each model in the unit, I've done the maximum that you can face. So, housekeeping done.
Yep.
We're going to start with your max damage for combat. These armies are the bottom 5 for maximum damage that they could do in the combat phase.
Right.
Have you got any guesses before I reveal, Robin?
Well, I'll have a guess, because why not? Can you, at the very least, tell me which Grand Alliance they're in?
There are 3 Order, there is 1 Destruction, and there is 1 Chaos. So apparently, if you want to not do minimum damage, you want to be Death.
Oh, that's surprising. I was maybe thinking Death might have been a bit lower, but... So, this is just straight combat damage. I think we're going to go for the Destruction one. We're going Giants. Just because the limited models they have. It's either that or it's going to be maybe the new... Actually, no, the new Gits has a lot of dice, so maybe not.
So you've just got to take away for this the fact that obviously, attacks with Rend obviously do genuinely do better, but we're saying that the defense wasn't a thing. So
we're saying you've got some loaded dice, and you've also
your
managed
opponent's got loaded dice the other way.
And the 3 Order ones, oh, that's interesting. It's probably not going to be Slayers, Fire Slayers, because they're pretty bulky.
I'll give you
if it's just combat, I
think... Just
think
combat.
I'm going to probably go with maybe the new cities. So the one that's primarily shooting, oddly enough. Then actually it might be Carrigan, I'm guessing. And then I'm going to go with the latest Stormcast, because I don't think they actually do a massive amount. And then Chaos. You know what? I'm going to go with Hellsmiths. because they suck.
So, in 5th place, so 5th lowest amount of max damage you could do, is the first Karajon Overlords. They can do a total of 46 in the combat phase. Sons of Behemoth are 4th place, one less, should I say. They can do 45 max damage. Like you say, it's just not enough models.
They don't have a lot.
Their attacks are all Ren based, so yeah. Sylvaneth are 3rd. That's the Order army.
Yeah.
They can only do 44.
Yeah.
Again, just not many units, not a lot of attacks. Tree Lord's very good, but the attacks are based on a lot of rend.
Yeah. I've been disadvantaged by the fact we don't have that Spearhead on the shelf.
In 2nd place is Housemiths of Hashut. You're correct there. Only 42.
But half of that's the bull.
I did. I mean, again, this is the bull not buffed with extra attacks.
Yeah.
So I did look at that and go, maybe that's why he struggles, Robin, because even they just can't do that many combat. And in last place, with only 25 damage that they can do, is the newest Karajan Overlords.
I know absolutely nothing about them, but yeah.
So they can do the lowest. So if you're looking for a combat-heavy army, don't choose any of those 5. I mean, Sylvaneth maybe. It's still a combat unit, isn't it?
Just out of interest, where was the Stormcast in cities? They've got to be pretty high.
I haven't ranked it, but I can tell you how much damage. The newest Stormcast can do 49, so it's only 3 more than the Karajan Overlord's first one, so you're pretty close with that. What was your other?
It's the newest cities.
They can do 49. So you were pretty good with both your guesses. They were just above it, yeah. Okay, top 5 armies. Just combat. I'll do the same thing. So we have, oh my word, I didn't even realise this. 1 death, 4 destruction.
Ooh.
Which is really fitting, to be fair. It should be that way, shouldn't it?
I mean, I'm going to go both the ogres, just because they get a ton of attacks and they're all like damage too. And they get a lot of models.
And you've got to remember, this is like all of the models on the table. This is the last turn, none of their models have died, and all of them on the table.
Probably then Iron Jaws, again, they get quite a few models. And I think a few of them are damage 2. I know the R-Boys are damage 1, but I think a few of them are like damage 2 and they get a few attacks each. I don't think Cruel Boys get a massive amount of attacks. They're probably not bad. Gits, possibly. The Trogs could do some damage. And then you've got all the Stabbers. Yeah, actually, and all the... Yeah. So we'll go Gits. And then Death. I feel like it's either going to be the oldest Bone Reapers or the older Soul Blight. Purely just because you've got all the skeletons in both of them.
Well, I'll tell you, it is one of those 2.
I might go with the Bone Reapers, because they've got the cavalry unit and the big monster.
So, in 5th place is Ogre Mawtribes, the original one, with 107 damage potential.
It's over double.
But again, you got to think, they don't get all those models on the... but then they've also got shooting, so that's not all their damage output, which is pretty crazy. In 4th place is the newest Gloomspite Gits, with 108.
They do roll an absolute ton of dice.
They just have no rent.
Well, that and everything's like 5s and 4s.
Yeah, so they'll never do it. But they have the capacity. That was the one that shocked me the most. In 3rd place is the newer Ogre Mawtribes. Actually, no, to be fair, they were joint 3rd, because that's also 108. In 2nd place is the Soulblight Gravelords, the original one, the Bloodcraven Hunt, which is 113. You got to think, they're cavalry unit, and the horses are all hitting and wounding, so cavalry units are really good.
Yeah,
because they're always doing damage. They've got 2 lots of 10 skeletons, that's the potential 40. And in 1st place is the Gloomspite Gits original one at 127 damage.
I mean, yeah.
Makes you realise maybe that's why they're as good as they are. I know they'll never do that, because Stabbers will never do that, but they have the capacity for an insane amount of damage. That is more than 100 higher than the Karajon Overlords. That's insane.
That is an insane amount.
So it does open your eyes as to what damage can be done. Okay, next category is shooting. So this is just in the shooting phase. Obviously, I've eliminated everyone that does nothing.
Yeah.
Because there's quite
They
a
are
few
all technically the bottom.
that do nothing.
It's going to be an army that has a general that has one shooting attack. I mean, maybe the Anastra one. That could be pretty low. What are the...
Oh, yes, sorry.
Yeah.
So, we have... it won't surprise you. 2 death.
2 death.
Because if they do have shooting, they're not having a lot of it.
Well,
2 order and 1 chaos.
so, death that have shooting. The original Bone Reapers has a little bit, so I'm going to go with them. Oh, and then it's probably the new Nighthorn. They also have a little bit of shooting. There's some recency bias there. You don't have a little bit. I'm pretty confident they're there. 2 order. So I'll go Yanastra. Is it both the Stormcast? Yeah, I'm going to go with both the Stormcast just because I can't think of another order that has like the tiniest bit of shooting off the top of my head.
And then chaos.
Chaos. Oh, is it Nurgle? Probably, because you've got that your general shoots.
Is that your final guess?
It's going to be another general that has like 1 shot.
So there are 5. 3 of them draw, so 3 of them equal second place, I guess. Is the Stormcast Eternals Yanastra, which can do 6.
Yep.
The Maggotkin of Nurgle, because the general does D6 shooting. And Seraphon, the Carnosaur, can do 6 maximum. And the 2 bottom are the 2 death ones. Ossiarch Bone Reapers can do 4 with the Harvester shooting, and the new Nighthaunt can also do 4.
Just out of interest, I'm assuming the other Stormcast can do.
They can do 9 is the maximum. Suns can do 9.
I didn't even think of Suns, yeah.
They can do 9.
They tend to do when you play them.
Yeah, they do. The new Gloomspite Gits can do 8. The old one can do 9. Again, with rock throwing with the trugs. Okay, top 5. Robin?
Top 5.
Again, I will tell you what they are. They are 3 order armies, 1 chaos, and 1 destruction.
I was not expecting destruction. I think one of the chaos is going to be the Skaven one, with the big cannon and the Storm Fiends. Because they can potentially do a fair bit with just those 2 units. Order. I'm going to assume the old Karajan, because they with the boats and all the shooting units. I'll go with the new cities. Destruction, probably Crawl Boys, the bow and the archers. Either that or one of the cannons in the ogre was just going to go crazy. And oh no, it's going to be the old ogres because they've got a shooting unit, haven't they? I'll go with that one. I'll go with the old ogres. And I've got no idea for the last order. I'll go Sylvaneth.
So in 5th place for highest amount of shooting damage is the new Ogre Moor tribes.
The new one?
They can do 38.
They must have a shoot. I must have forgot they have... Oh yeah, they do. They've got their general shoots, doesn't he?
So they have like a catapult that shoots.
Yeah.
And I've got a feeling the little infantry unit probably shoots or something.
Yes, the Noblars
Yeah.
get like 20 shots or something silly like that.
Yeah. In joint 3rd is the Cities of Sigmar, the new one, at 39 damage, and the Skaven old one, the Warp Spark Claw Pack. They can both do 39. The 2nd place is the newest Caradron Overlords.
The newest?
That can do 56.
Ooh.
And in 1st place is the old Caradron Overlords that can do 73. So obviously they were both on like the lowest damage one for melee weapons, but it kind of makes up when they're both the top of that. But I mean the older one is way above the other one. It's almost 20 more damage. So if you want to get a really good shooting army, or maybe not a good shooting army, but potential good shooting army, the Caradron Overlords are the way to go for either.
So the ogres so far have the highest combat. Not the highest.
They were 3rd best for combat and 5th best for shooting. But obviously this is the one where I've combined them. So that might help you a little bit. So the lowest 5 first for combined combat and shooting. But again, these are no abilities have been added to boost anything on this. What are your bottom 5, Robin? I will tell you their grand alliances. So we have 1 death.
Yep.
We have 1 destruction.
Yeah.
We have 1 chaos. and we have 2 order.
This is where people are going to be like, oh, this is obvious. Duncan just gave us the answers. But people are going to be like, why can Robin not use his short-term memory to
it's hard.
remember? So I've completely forgot who was in combat. I know Giants.
Giants, Sylvaneth, Hellsmiths, Karajan Overlords, and Karajan Overlords. So obviously you can kind of take them out because they're
going to have. So I'm going to
down.
stick with Giants because shooting only adds 9. I'll go with Sylvaneth and the other order one, the new Stormcast. Death. Yeah, I'll go with the second Bone Reapers then for Death.
So what Chaos one are you picking?
People are going, well, it's such a quick podcast, and it's actually just going to be because I sat there for ages going, Chaos, and Duncan's edited all this out.
I will edit all this out, because I don't think people want you just going,
Chaos.
What could it be?
I'm gonna stick with Hellsmiths.
So in 5th place is the Sylvaneth. You're correct at 62 damage. So their shooting only takes them up from 44 to 62. In 4th place is Maggotkin of Nurgle, first one, with only 60 damage.
Suppose they've got no shooting, yeah.
And they don't have many, any 10 model units.
Yeah, true.
Plague Bearers can only do 1 each, standard, without any buffs on them. Blight Kings get a load of attacks, but doesn't make up for it. So yeah, that shocked me. That made me think.
Plus, obviously, a lot of you're probably getting your ability damage, really, and that's where theirs shine.
Yeah. In 3rd place, the newer Stormcast, the Vigilant Brotherhood, at 58 damage. Joint first, so these can do equal lowest amount of damage, is the Sons of Behemoth, is only 54, which is equal to the Ossiarch Bone Reaper's newer one, which is also only 54. Again, just not enough models. They've got a lot of rend, a lot of damage, but condensed. So
I mean, they in theory should get majority of that damage through.
Yeah, whereas other armies don't. Clan Rats don't, but
You telling me you've never done 20 damage with a squad of Clan Rats?
No, have you?
I'm lucky if I do 2.
Exactly.
You know what? You know what one really surprised me? Actually, Sylvaneth.
Just not many models.
Yeah.
Not many models. That's what I'm learning from this. It kind of teaches you that just low number of models just does mean that your potential is a lot lower. Top 5.
Well, I'm going for
shooting.
Before you even tell me, I'm going both the ogres because I think they're going to be really high.
So there are 2 destruction,
both the ogres,
and there are 2 order and 1 chaos.
So I'll go with both the ogres. I'm going to go with the big cannon Skaven. It's the one that literally inspired the puck because they did high on shooting, and they probably pretty high on combat as well. Order. So there's got to be a decent combat one that's got some shooting. I'll go with the Yenestra Spearhead. I don't think it is.
So combined shooting and melee in 5th place with 119 potential damage is the older Karajan Overlords. In 4th place is the new Ideneth Deepkin with 123. Again, that kind of made me realise how good that Spearhead is. That combined shooting and combat, that's crazy amount of damage.
So where were they in the original combat?
So
they must have been like 6th, I'm guessing.
Again, I've not ordered them, but I can tell you what they can do. So they can do 103 in the combat phase and do 20 in shooting. In 3rd place is the older Ogre Moor Tribes at 128. In 2nd place is the newer Skaven at 131. So they can do 107 in the combat phase. So they kind of just missed out being in the top 5 for that. And 24 in the shooting phase. Because obviously it's less than the other one, but combined it pushes them up there. Which means in 1st place, as you had worked out, is the newer Ogre Moor Tribes with 144 damage. But again, I think the thing about them is it's that Lead Belcher unit that come in the 4th battle round with 4 of them. They can do crazy because they've got like 4 attacks each, 2 damage.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're 4s and 2s.
Before we go on to finding out the absolute max damage, would you like to know a few units that are the top for damage?
Yeah, go on then.
Okay. So the kind of top hitters, if you want an army that's got a unit that's top hitters, you want the Iron Jaws, With the Brutes, they can do 30, so the unit that come in the third battle round. Soulblight Gravelords, their Barrow Knights can do 30. The Rat Ogres can do 30.
Yeah.
Gloomspite Gits, so the ones with the cavalry unit, they've got 2 units that separately can do 30.
Yeah.
That's why they scored so high on that, is they have the potential.
Yeah.
Do
they?
Blades of Khorne, Mighty Skull Crushers can do 38. I think that's helped by the fact the infantry unit is a D3 damage.
Yeah.
The Iron Guts can do 36, so like I'm saying, that's the 4 coming in at the end. Ideneth Deepkin, Achillean Tide Guard. The Ishilin Guard can do 36, and the Morsar Guard can do 39.
Yeah.
So you've got 2 units that can do crazy damage.
Yeah.
I think that's what makes that so good. The Cavalry in the original cities, the Sigmar can do 40.
And they roll a lot of dice.
And it's the horses, I think, get
the horse
attacks as well. Chaos Knights can do 40, and obviously the thing with them, it's the 2 rend. Crypt Guard can do 40.
Yeah.
When you give them extra attacks. The older Soulblight Gravelord, the Knights can do 45 damage.
Oh, that's nasty.
You've got to think about the
horses,
so they won't. The Header Knights of Slanesh, so the Slangor Fiendbloods, they can do 34 damage, and their cavalry unit, the Slick Blade Seekers, can do 45 damage. So that Spearhead has got 2 of the heaviest hitters. So I feel like there's potential in that Spearhead somehow.
And they don't roll particularly bad either, if I remember. 4s and 3s for both of them.
One of those units is reinforced.
Yeah.
Which is pretty crazy. And top is your Storm Fiends on potential 64, and that is not including their shooting attacks either, is it?
No.
That's just combat.
If you would include their shooting attacks, that'd be an extra 95.
In one unit doing 95 damage, that's crazy. So yeah, so if you want heavy hitters, choose any of those.
That the Storm Fiends do more than some armies do.
More, like way more as well. Not even like a few bits of damage.
Almost double.
So how much damage did you just say?
I think it was 90. Off the top of my head, it looks like 95.
So they do.
Quick maths.
They do more than. I'm going to tell you everyone that does less than 100. Ready?
Yep.
Blades of Khorne, the old one, they can do 94. The Blades of Khorne, new one, 76. They can do more than Cities of Sigmar, both of them. They can do more than Disciples of Zeech, unsurprisingly. They can do more than both Flesh Eaters. They can do
that doesn't surprise me.
30 more than Fire Slayers.
That doesn't surprise me either.
They can do
So basically,
30 more than Hellsmith.
What we're saying is then, if we rank you higher than a 2.5 in the podcast, you can do more damage than Storm Fiends.
They're more than Lumineth, more than Carriage Overlords, with including the shooting. More than Nurgle, like I said, they're pretty low. More than both Night Haunts. More than Iron Jaws. More than a fighty army.
So more than like a quarter of them.
More than both Slaves. More than both Stormcast. That's unreal. Right, okay, here's your main event. So these are maximum. So if you have an ability that, like I say, kind of gives your army +1 to attacks, you've got it. You've got that ability.
Yep.
Crit 2 hit, I think, is kind of a significant one here, because that crazy does you damage. So you've rolled a 6 on every dice, and you've got all of them through, and they've not saved any. Crit 2 hits kind of skew this, I would argue. Any abilities like
+1 to damage, +1 to attack characteristics.
+1 to damage, +1 attack characteristics. Disease, you've got your max disease off. You know, everything. Everything's maxed off. You Nastra's thrown a spear at a monster. Everything's maxed.
And she's missed.
No, she hasn't. Not in this world.
She probably still would.
So, in 39th place is Sylvaneth.
Yeah.
Unsurprisingly, that's kind of unfortunate how they have gone.
I don't think they have. Is there any increase from there?
They gained 3. They must have some sort of D3 mortal damage. They have gained 3.
Yeah.
In 38th place is the Cruel Boys. They can only do 72 damage. They only gained an increase of 3, which I think is the Merc Knobs ability.
Yeah.
So they didn't gain a lot from extra abilities. In 37th place is the newer Slaves to Darkness, the Dark Oath Riders.
Yeah.
They can only do 80. They can do none in the shooting and only 70 in combat, and they only gain 10 from other effects. Lumineth Realm Lords are next. They can only do 80 damage, only gaining 6 from abilities. The Osiarch Bone Reaper's newer one, the Mortis and Elite, can only do 84. Gain quite a lot from extra abilities. They've got 12 and an 18 from extra abilities. The Slaves to Darkness older one, the Bloodwind Legion, they can do 85.
Yeah, they don't really have any
They gain
damage in.
3 extra damage. 87 is the maximum that the newer Stormcaster Vigilant Brotherhood can do.
Yeah, makes sense.
Nighthaunt, the old one, is 88. They haven't got any extra buffs added onto that, and obviously no shooting, so that is literally their combat damage that they could do. Cities of Sigmar, the older one, can do 89 maximum damage. Howlsmiths of Hashut can do 90 maximum damage. They gained a few with abilities. They gained 9, 9, and 3. The newer Cities of Sigmar can do 91 damage. So again, we're still saying numbers less than all the Storm Fiends can do.
Yep.
They only have 3 extra with extra damage. I think that's the general making a unit retreat. I think that's his extra damage.
That would make sense.
The Ideneth Deepkin, the old one, could do exactly 100. They gained a lot with extra abilities. They were only 68 from damage, but they gain 2 lots of 10, a 9 and a 3 with extra damage.
So they're just better than a unit of Storm Fiends.
Also can only do 100 damage is the newer Soulblight Gravelords. They gain none on extra abilities and none in shooting. That is just their combat damage. Iron Jaws can do 104. Seraphon, the Star Scale Warhost, they can only do 105. The old Blades of Khorne can do 108. Not gaining too much, they're gaining 14 overall with extra abilities, but they already do 94. It isn't just in the combat, so pretty fighty, but no shooting with them. Fire Slayers are next. They can do 108. They gained 38 extra damage with abilities, but that is throwing axes at everything. The Daughters of Cain are 112, which also draws with the Flesh Eater's Charnel Watch. The Maggotkin and Nurgle, so remember, they were like really low overall, but they are up to 113. They gain 5, 7, 5, 3, 3, 18 and 12 with extra abilities. They almost double their damage output on extra abilities.
And most of those abilities are mortals as well.
Most of them are mortals. That is obviously disease to the max. That's the general giving the unit of Plague Bearers extra attacks, and that's pretty sure that's the general giving everything wholly within 7 of him extra attacks. So obviously that's the whole army somehow split into that wholly within 7, by the way. So they have loads of extra abilities, and that obviously buffs them up to make them as good as I think they are anyway. The Ynastra Stormcast is next with 100. That's equal with Nurgle with 113. There you go. We're very well matched when we fight them, Robin.
It doesn't feel it.
Next is the Flesh Eater Courts. The older one is 113. So actually, those all 3 draw. It is interesting how similar these are, which I think shows how balanced Spearhead is in general, that all of these quite similar numbers. You've got the newer Blades of Khorne can do 119. They can do a lot on special abilities.
Yeah.
They can do almost 40 in special abilities. You have the newer Seraphon is 122. The older Caradron Overlords. So obviously they can only actually do an extra 5 with abilities. So that obviously just stopped them from being as top as they potentially could be, considering how...
Like the bomb racks and the plus the 1 running
bomb
away.
Bomb rack and the 1, that's all they can do. Yeah. The Disciples of Tzeentch, 125. They were 90 before abilities were added on. Exactly 30 with abilities. And they just roll a lot of dice. They do have potential, just like we say, no rend. Sons of Behemoth. This is my favourite one. So they are doing 126 by perfectly throwing their rocks, perfectly getting all the damage through, and then all 3 of them dying and perfectly landing on everything in the other person's army. They are going up from 54 to 126 thanks to doing all those things. Obviously, this is never going to happen, but they have the potential. Hedonites of Selesh, 133. Obviously, that's them giving out their temptation dice
Yep.
and being not accepted, so they're taking the D3 mortal damage and 3 every time, not warding them. The Ogre Moor Tribe's older one is 134, only 6 extra damage.
Yeah, I don't think they had anything like that.
Ideneth Deepkin Achillean Tide, the newer one, 134 as well. The Gloomspite Gits, the Snarl Pack, they can do 136. Soulblight Gravelords, 139. Get quite a lot from extra abilities. That is the older one. Skaven, your newer one, the Gnarlfest Claw Pack, can do 146 damage. Gloomspite Gits, Bad Moon Mad Mob, so the old one can do 146. Don't actually gain a lot with special abilities, only 10 overall with different abilities, but obviously 136 just anyway is pretty crazy. Now we're on to our final 3. In third place overall is the newer Ogre Moor Tribes. Unsurprisingly, they topped the other one.
Yeah.
153 overall. In second place, Ossiarch Bone Reapers, Tithe Reaper Echelon.
Yep. Like you said.
159 potential damage. Basically, crit 2 hits.
Yeah.
Because you can give both the infantry units crit 2 hits. So those units are doing 40 damage each. So 80 damage with 2 units of skeletons. So in top place, unsurprisingly, when you knew how much crazy damage just one unit can do, is the Skaven Warp Spark Claw Pack with
Let's see if I can figure this out.
100.
Well, yes, we know it starts at 95.
The Skaven Warp Spark Claw Pack can do 161 damage in a turn. Obviously, their special ability gave them their extra 40, and they got a 3, which I think was a D3 mortal damage spell.
Yeah.
That is insane. 161 damage. I am going to do... We're going to do another podcast one time, because I've actually begun working out how much health every single army is, ranking that, and then I'm also going to work out, like, saves, what's average saves of all the armies. But I will be interested to see how many spearheads how many times you could kill, like 10 times the sun's spearhead you could destroy or something with just that one turn of combat. So, if you are the luckiest roller in the world, and you always only ever get 6s, and your opponents always seem to fail everything against you, go with Skaven.
Go with Skaven.
I mean, Ossiarch Bone Reapers as well, not only 2 behind overall, but Skaven can just do an insane amount of damage. And if you're ever playing against a Skaven player, I would advise...
checking their dice.
No, I'd advise trying to do whatever you can to try and kill their Storm Fiends, just in case.
Just in case.
This has obviously been like a hypothetical. Please don't go, I'm going to get that army, and every turn I expect to do all that damage. It's never happening.
No.
But it's just really interesting to see, actually, when you take out, I had a good experience with this army, a bad experience. Just the numbers makes you realise what potential damage things can do, and the differences between some of those armies is quite interesting.
Yeah, like I always assumed Sylvaneth was going to be pretty low, but I didn't expect them to be at the bottom. There's like armies out there like, they're bad. They'll just be at the bottom. And they're actually not. They're actually like middle of the pack.
Biggest surprises for me was like the newer Gloomspite Gits is so high on potential damage again. Like you said, they don't hit and wound on good numbers and they don't have rend, but they can do the damage. And then there's a lot of armies that are sort of your 100 to 120. There's a decent chunk there. So I think that does, like I say, I do feel like it generally is sort of well balanced overall. This has been a bit of a fun, different podcast. We're going to go back to our sort of reviews very soon. But if there are any kind of topics, it doesn't even be a wacky one like that. It can be an actual realistic one. If you want to know, if you're a person who likes an army that can do tricks and run around, or you like an army that just does run in and smash, let us know what you want us to kind of debate and talk about. Because it's always interesting to see what opinions we both got and what you've got as well. So let us know in the comments if there's anything that you want us to talk about on an upcoming podcast. And also how surprised you were about all of the things that we've just said and found out with that damage.
And as always, like, share, subscribe, comment, all those good things, all the YouTube things.
Yeah, and we're on YouTube. We also have the podcast available to listen. So if you're the type of person who likes to kind of listen on the go, we are on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, kind of all of them.
All good podcast suppliers, and probably the bad ones too.
Yeah, we're just everywhere.
Just everywhere.
So, check us out on any of those, and yeah, it'd be good to hear from you. It is time for your outro, Robin.
In the immortal words of Billy Mays, that's a lot of damage.
When did you come up with that?
Like a week ago,
Oh,
when we started talking about it. I was like, I'm pretty sure one of us literally said that word, and it just like something awoke in my brain.